Hi there, it's Karen at Corrie Paper Crafts, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in central Scotland. Welcome back to another Simple Sundays project, and it's this one here. It's a little gift box to hold a packet of handy wipes just like this one. So I'm not going to open it and let you see the wipes inside this because I'm really pleased with my bow and I don't want to untie it. So I'm going to show you how I made it, but first just a quick apology that I've not seen you for a while. Life has kind of gotten in the way in the last couple of weeks, and my attention has been elsewhere. So I'm back with another Simple Sundays project today. This is made using the let me just grab the packet because my mind has just suddenly gone blank. It's the Brightly Gleaming Designer Series paper, which I have shown in a previous video, and I'm now dropping bits of it all over the floor. And I think this is really pretty. It'll do as a just because gift or a stocking filler, which is what I'm going to use it for, or just a little gift to cheer somebody up. So I'm going to show you how I made it, and then later this week I'm actually going to do a cardstock version of this as well, just to let you see the difference. It can be a little bit flimsy because it's DSP. So if you are planning to send that in the post, then I would say make sure you package it really securely so that it doesn't get squashed, or make the cardstock version, and I will be back with that in a few days time. So I'm going to use a different sheet of paper this time, and this is from the Poinsettia Place Designer Series pack. Both packs are 12 by 12, but when I come back with the cardstock version I'm going to go back to the Brightly Gleaming again. But I just want to show you a different look, and I wanted to use this ribbon again, so I picked a paper that the ribbon would match. It is absolutely divine. This you'll find on, let me check, page 31 of the new August to December mini catalogue, and it's part of the Wonder of the Season suite, and it's actually a double pack of ribbon. Here's the gold twine that goes with it, and together they combine, and I've lost the packet, there we go, here it is here, to make the Wonder of the Season ribbon combo pack. So I just needed to find another piece of paper that I could use excuse me, to make this. So I'm going to just pop this box out of the way just now. So to make this you'll need a piece of paper which measures 11 inches by 6 1/4 inches, or that's 28 centimetres by 16 centimetres. And I will give you the measurements both in inches and in centimetres as we go, and hopefully not forget, which I'm prone to doing. So first of all, on the long side, on the 11-inch side, we're going to score at 4 inches, 4 3/4, 8 3/4, and 9 1/2. And then we're going to turn it, doesn't matter which way you turn it, onto the short side and score both sides at 3/4 of an inch, like so. Excuse me, I've got a really sore throat today. So in centimetres, exact measurements would be 10.2, 12.1, 22.2 and 24.1 centimetres, and this way that would be 1.9 centimetres on either side. But I've tried the measurements out in centimetres, and you would get away with 10, 12, 22 and 24 centimetres and 2 centimetres on either side, and this box would still fit those wipes if that was specifically what you were going to put in it. So it's up to you if you want to use the exact measurements or the slightly the rounded off versions. So just fold and burnish on all the score lines. Like so. go. And then the 2 score lines down the sides here. There we are. This is a good project if you've only got some designer series paper and some inks and don't have cardstock. So that's why I decided to make it my Simple Sundays project. Now I have discovered that this week Julie at the Paper Pixie has made a very similar box, and I have taken some inspiration from Julie for cutting some of the tabs on this particular box, but the design is really coincidentally the same. There are only so many ways you can make a box, but because I've taken inspiration from Julie to make some of the flaps in this box, I will link to Julie's project in the description bar below. So I'm not sure if you can see these score lines here. You probably can't. We're going to keep this shorter section here at the top because that's the flap that's going to fold over for the lid, as it were. And you've got 2 score lines here, and you've got 2 score lines here, and that's actually going to fold up like that, and this is going to form the bottom of the box. So to do that and keep the flaps out of the way so that they don't catch on my wipes, I'm going to cut up the score line closest to this end. So we have the other score line here, but this is the one that we've cut. I'm not going to cut there. I'm actually going to turn it back round to the right way round and cut up to that next score line, just like so. And then I'm going to wedge both sides of here and just trim off the rest of that score line there, which is, it doesn't really matter if you do that or not because these are going to be on the inside of the box. Then I'm just going to repeat that on the other side, and then it's probably easier to turn it round because I'm right-handed, and then just snip up to that score line there, and then wedge either side of this like we did on the first side, just like that, and take away that score line if you so wish. So this is what we've got so far. There's no more cutting at this end, but to turn it round to what is the top, again you'll see there's a score line here and a score line here, I hope, if I just angle it towards the light. And I'm going to cut down this score line here past that first horizontal score line to the second one, taking the score line off as I go. So I want the straight edge on this part here, and I've taken the score line off here, and then I'm just going to cut that off, taking the score line away too, and notch either side of there. And I didn't cut the score line off very straight, but it doesn't really matter because that's going to be hidden inside the box anyway, and I think I've just made it worse trying to straighten it up. And I'm going to do exactly the same on this side. I'm going to cut down this score line here, removing the score line onto this part but keeping the straight edge on here, and then I'm going to remove this section here, removing that score line as I go, and then a wedge here and a wedge here. And again I'm just going to straighten that up slightly just because it'll annoy me otherwise, but it's not really necessary. So this is what we're left with once we've done all our cutting, just to make sure it's in shot. I'll let you see that here. All that remains is to round the corners on this part here, which is going to fold over. There we are. And the same on this side. There we go. And it's ready to put together. So on the right side of these flaps nearer the bottom of the box, I'm going to add a little bit of tearing tape, and I'm just going to take it from that score line down to the middle of the straight edge there, and I'm just going to use my ruler to tear that off. And again, the same on this flap here, piece of tearing tape just down to the edge of that flap, like so, and then turn it over, and I'm going to add a couple of pieces of tearing tape onto here, one very close to the edge there, and one just next to that score line, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. So a piece near that score line there, and then a bit very close to that edge, just so that it holds the box securely together once I put it together. There we are. Okay, so I'm just going to give them a little burnish with my paper folder, and then give these tabs a little burnish too. And I'm firstly going to remove the backing from the tape on these little tabs here. And what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to bring this bottom of the box round, so this folded edge here is going to meet with this straight edge here, just like so. And just give it a press together, and the same on the other side, it's putting itself together anyway, very helpful. So just the straight edge to the folded edge, there we are. And then I'm just going to remove one side of tape at a time, and then I'm going to fold this part up and over so that it joins together at the side, like so. And I'm just trying to find where my score line is at the top so that it goes together straight, which it's trying to not do because it's got itself stuck together, and I'm getting myself stuck to my tearing tape. So I'm just going to line that up like so and give it a wee gentle press. I'll come back to it just shortly though, and then take the backing off the other side and do exactly the same again. And it might be easier just while it's lying flat on my desk to just bring that up and press the edges together. It's a little bit squint, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. You just need to be careful because it bends a lot more because it's designer series paper. Just give it a press, and that's really my box put together. Yeah, I could have lined that up a little better, but you get the idea. And to get these wipes to fit and save on paper or card, I just folded those edges over and popped it in. And with attaching those tabs to the bottom of the box rather than the side, it means that it doesn't catch on the wipes when I put them in the box. And then all I need to do is tie a piece of this gorgeous ribbon round my box. So I'm going to cut off enough to let me tie a decent bow, so I'll cut it about there. And I'm a big fan of this ribbon really because it lets me tie a nice bow, because I'm not very good at tying bows. So just turn it round, and I'm going to position the bow just near where that flap ends. Round we come and push through here like so. There we are. And then before I pull it tight, just make sure that I'm happy with those loops and the tails, and I'm very happy with that once again, so I'm not going to mess too much with it. I'm going to grab my scissors again. I just want to twist that round a little bit, so I'm going to cut at an angle here, but a little bit straighter than that I think though, Karen. And I still didn't manage to cut it straight, honestly, and at an angle there too. There we are. Right, let's try that again. Let's see if we can actually cut in a straight line. Oh, that's better. So to do the stamping, I need to grab a piece of Whisper White card, and the stamp set I used was, here it is over here, Christmas Gleaming, and I used a Merry Christmas here, and I've already got it mounted on a block, and I'm using Shaded Spruce because that's the shade of the ribbon. And I'm just going to make sure I ink it up, get plenty ink on that, and I'm going to stamp about there, and then I'm going to use my mini trimmer, there we go, to cut that out and see if I can get the lines on that straight. So I'll grab my mini trimmer here. So there's no exact measurements for this part. Actually, I'm going to cut this way first, I think, because I've stamped it near the bottom where the straight edge is. So let me see. Yeah, I could do with that being just a little bit closer. So let's have a look. About there. No, a little bit further over. So oh my goodness. We might just have to leave it with a bigger border around it because I'm managing to make quite a mess of that. Let's see if that's even. No, so we do need to trim it down a little bit, which I will do just in a second. So about there, I think. So I'm needing a straight edge, that's what's wrong. So about there, I think, and then just one last trim. Famous last words about this not taking too long to do. I'm just wanting to get that straight along there, and we'll try that and see. I think that'll do nicely. I'm not going to mess any more with it. Me and straight lines don't get on, we really don't. I don't know why. Other people can do it in a flash, but I can't. So I'm just going to resign myself to the fact that I can't. And I'm just looking for my holiday rhinestones to add a little bit of bling and some dimensionals to pop on the back of my sentiment. Should have put my bling on first. I'm just trying to remind myself of the colours that are in these holiday rhinestones. We do have Night of Navy. I think it is, in fact I've got the page somewhere here, let me have a look and I'll just tell you. The colours are Cherry Cobbler, Coastal Cabana, Night of Navy, Pumpkin Pie and Shaded Spruce, which is why I chose to use those, because that's the colour of the ink that I've used. So and they are in the annual catalogue as opposed to the mini catalogue. And I just popped my Merry Christmas down at the bottom. It does overlap the ribbon ever so slightly, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. and I need my putty end of here just to grab a shaded spruce rhinestone to pop on there, and there we are. I think those are really pretty and a lovely way to smarten up a little packet of wipes just to give somebody a little treat. So I hope you liked that. Not too difficult at all, and I'll be back very shortly in a few days with a cardstock version. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye bye.